Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back with another one to talk about the college football top 25 rankings, and I am going to give you the list of teams that are in the top 25 and tell you who I have problems with. So, first, we got Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, Florida State, Missouri, Utah, LSU, Clemson, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Miami, Texas A&M, Arizona, Kansas, USC, NC State, and Iowa. Now, I don't have no problem with the top five teams: Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Alabama. No, excuse me. Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Alabama. I have no problem with the top five. But when you start getting to six, I have problems with six, 7, 19, and 20. Now, all of those teams, they underperformed last year. Ole Miss, they had a good offense to give everybody the exact statistics. Ole Miss was the top offense in college football at 45 points per game, and the defense allowed 35 points per game. So it was a dynamic offense and an average defense. Ole Miss, one thing I can say about them, they haven't won a championship ever. And this is based off of last year. So we know if the defense was a dumpster fire last year, can the defense improve this year? We gonna see if they can improve this year. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let y'all know if the Ole Miss Rebels have improved. I'm gonna get back to anybody who says that the Ole Miss Rebels have improved. Come back to me week 9, week 10. Come back to me then, because Ole Miss, credit, they have a great coach, Lane Kiffin. He has been a career journeyman when it comes to coaching in college football. So now, when it comes to Ole Miss, I don't think that they'll go undefeated. I really don't. I believe that Alabama, I believe Alabama, they'll lose to Alabama. So I got them going 11-1 or 10-2. The next team that I have a problem with is Miami. Now, Miami last year, they were a true dumpster fire. They had the game won versus Georgia Tech and ended up losing because of some idiot play call told that running back to run up the middle. He fumbled the ball and they lost to Georgia Tech. Now, every year I've been hearing that Miami is back, the U is back, the U is back. You've been saying that for the last 20 years. You've been saying that for the last 20 years. So I don't know how a mediocre team like Miami that did not show improvement later on in the season, I don't know how they can become ranked in the top 25 after that dumpster fire that we seen last season. Now, even in the bowl game, they were a dumpster fire. They lost to the number 24 team, NC State. So which it is it is appalling to me that Miami is the 19th ranked team in the country. And even though coming into this year they are projected, I'm going to say they are projected to have a top-notch offense, a mighty good defense. This is Miami we talking about. Any team can be beaten on any given day, but Miami, you know that they're going to stink up the joint in one of these games. They might stink up the joint against the Florida Gators in the coming weeks. Who knows? But that's what I got for Miami. Now, Texas A&M, one of the ultimate dumpster fires of the 2023 college football season. They got rid of Jimbo Fisher, brought in Mike Elko. Mike Elko, he's got a new vision, a new energy around the program, and a lot of people think that Texas A&M is going to be a good enough to decent team this year. Now, last year, they came on strong a little bit late after they fired Jimbo Fisher. The last 3 games of the season, they won 2 of those games, and they were showing strides of being a team that was trying to turn the corner. Texas A&M, even though that they were a dumpster fire last year, new head coach, new system, new coaching staff, new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator. Let's see what the Texas A&M Aggies can do, and let's see if College Station is going to be happy with the product and the results that they see on the field come this season when it comes to the Texas A&M Aggies. Now, as far as championship concerned, when it comes to Texas A&M, they are nowhere near a championship. The last time Texas A&M Aggies won a championship was 1939. 1939. 3 years the college football top 25 poll had been in existence, for only 3 years till 1939. Now when it comes to Texas A&M, it has been a while since they could call themselves champions. It's been a while since they even made it to the SEC championship game. Now, can Mike Elko get the Texas A&M Aggies to the SEC championship in his first season? I don't think so. The ceiling for the Texas A&M Aggies this season is getting to a bowl game and winning the bowl game. That is the ceiling for the Texas A&M Aggies. Outside of that, I have no other problems with this list. Those were the only 4 teams that I had problems with. Oh, and one more other thing before I go. Iowa. Now, Iowa, they have been ranked the last couple of years in the top 25, but what has hurt them is lack of offensive production. When it comes to them, when it comes to the Iowa Hawkeyes, can the offense be better than it has been over the last 3 years? Because the last 3 years, statistically, Iowa has been the worst offense in all of college football at 134. And I'm going to tell you, the average that they score a game is only 18 points. 18 points per game. And on the defensive side, they give up 30 points. So Iowa, when it comes to Iowa, the Iowa Hawkeyes, I don't know how they are going to try and mend the offense together and come and be competitive, but you cannot have the same offense that you have had for the last 2 or 3 years and only averaging 15 to 18 points per game, because you are going to lose a lot of games. And Iowa, I believe it's better teams than Iowa that could have been in that top 25 slot at 25. Now there are some big question marks when it comes to this list. How good is Clemson going to be? How good is Tennessee going to be? How good is Kansas going to be? How good is USC going to be with the subtraction of Caleb Williams going to the Chicago Bears? How is all of these teams going to be good? Now, as far as the top 10, when it comes to Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, Florida State. I think that there won't be so much movement in the top 10 when it comes to the top 25 this season, because the top 10 teams, they are basically they hold the same dynamic as far as strength when it comes to team concern. Now, as far as Georgia, they are coming into this year, they are the top team in the nation. So pretty much when you think of rankings, they are the standard, but we all know who really the standard is in college football, and that has always been Alabama. Now, when it comes to Alabama and Georgia played the 4th week of the season in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So one of these two teams are not going to be in the top 5 for long. So we got a huge domino effect coming up in the early part of the season when it comes to both of these teams. And not to mention Georgia and Clemson, they play on opening Saturday. So one of those two teams, Georgia at number 1 and Clemson at number 14, one of those two teams are going to fall in the rankings immediately after the first week of the college football season. And also, not to mention that Miami could easily fall out of the top 25 because they play the Florida Gators in the Swamp on opening Saturday in college football. So there could be a huge domino effect after the first weekend of college football. And with that is my reactions and takeaways from the top 25 college football preseason rankings for the 2024 season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, content, and shows. And also, go follow my other show, Key City Sports, on TikTok. And remember, one last thing, the key is always on time.